Good evening, good evening for this final day. The day which I didn't think that I will be able to do that all 21 days challenge. When I started off with this challenge, I was wondering really, as to how is it that I'm going to unfold all of the topics on self-reliance. Why self-reliance? I've always spoken about it. Okay, so let me just switch the video off on this. But what I wanted to do is also sort of do it in a different way today so that we relax, meditate, and then move on to the final day. So as I said, the reason why I'm doing this challenge is to help 100,000 women become self-reliant, which is what is my vision. And each one of you who are part of my community and also joining this, whether it was day one or whichever day that you joined to contribute towards learning this, have contributed towards the vision of helping 100,000 women become self-reliant, which is what is my vision. And that's what I keep talking about. It does have an emotional connection. The connection is about the story that I started off on day one, where I was actually talking about how I got into this whole business, why it started off sometime very in my young age, when I was a toddler, when how my mom used to actually add marks and tell people that I was good. It was, I'm sure, not her intention to, really hurt me or anyone else, but it was basically we all go through our own stories in our lives. And for me, what it did at that point of time, I really didn't know as a child. But later on, when I was actually making a vision, which I must thank my coach Maua Gurthi, I must thank my digital mentor Siddharth Rajshekhar, who made me go through, today I must thank all of them who helped me and are continuing to support me in this digital journey and this journey of getting going online and sort of making my presence felt there, being an online influencer, and getting to be more known there as a life coach and helping women to become self-reliant. And that's the reason why I'm also in this whole aspect of coaching, because that definitely comes naturally to me. And with close to 20 years of experience in HR consulting, facilitation, and coaching, having worked in various MNCs like Infosys, GE, Intergraph India Limited, IV Comtech, and also in industries like automobile industry, also my last stint I had worked in L&D in Deloitte, and various other industries where I've served them in the learning and development division, and also as a life coach. I've got an opportunity to coach IT women, from Cognizant, Dell, IBM, doctors, architects, housewives, having transformed their lives. I mean, all they did was I helped them write their goals and help them reach that. They did it. They did it. All I did was help them through my expertise of coaching, brain science, six insights of the brain, NLP, and healing aspects of it that was involved. They really made their goals. They wrote their goals and also reached it, and it was a step-by-step process. And it's not just about me helping them. It's about joining a community of people who speak the same language and help each other to implement behavior. That's really critical, because courses, as I keep saying, you may get anywhere, but if you join a community where people support each other to sort of through accountability partners to help each other to implement behavior, it's a very, very different ballgame. I urge you to join my community if you feel that these 21 days have added any value, in your life, even point not 1%. I think I've done my job, but the journey has just begun. I would urge you to join my community and take it from there to sort of build an implementation of behavior. It is not a short-term journey; it's a long-term game that we are in. So think, understanding that this is a long-term gain, all we have done is 21 days. 21 days was a challenge. When I started off, I thought 21 days was really big. I remember the first day when I asked people, do you think 21 days is too much? They all said, yes, 21 days is too much. Today is the last day. And I sometimes think that, oh my God, did I finish 21 days? So that's how I'm sure you all, must be thinking of many things that you wanted to do in your life. And when you finished it, it's like it's all done. So I mean, 21 days is nothing. It's just, it's like sort of a drop in the ocean for you to understand, and for me also, it has been a great journey. And I'm going to be continuously doing such challenges on various topics, for you to be, to gain more and more value, and join my community to help each other, join my community to sort of have those accountability partners to implement behavior that you want to implement. Okay, that's extremely important. So thank you so much for taking the time and energy to join these sessions. Today is the last day of the 21-day challenge. Why was it called a challenge? More so because it was 21 days, number one. And secondly, at the end of every day, which was just 30 minutes and maximum 45 minutes, there was an affirmation. There was also an assignment that you had to do. So the challenge was for you and me. One, of course, for me to prepare, get it all together and present it to you in a way that you like. And second thing is also for you to take these affirmations and assignments, get it all together and implement it on a day-to-day basis. So that's why it was called a challenge. So challenge both for you and me to take it to the next level to implement behavior. Yeah. So beautiful. Thank you again so much for each one of you, for having contributed in your own way in this 21-day challenge. Thanks again. So I'm operating from a different place today. It's there could be certain internet issues. If you're not able to hear me, or just type it in the comment box. Let me figure that out. And thank you so much. Yes, I'm actually today, post pandemic, we can attend to office from anywhere, whatever that you're doing, right? So wonderful. So let me just move on to today's topic. It's going to be a 30 days topic. And before that, winner of the powerful note taker challenge. This is, of course, something that, I should say, I'm going to be distributing it amongst the few of you all who have been doing it on a consistent basis. I cannot, some of you has been really consistent throughout, like, who's already got it at the end of 15 days. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to give this to Aparna, Upasana, and Ranjini, all three of them together. Upasana for creativity, Aparna for her consistency throughout, for being there from day 1 to day 21. Of course, Ranjini for supporting me throughout and is going to continue supporting me in many ways. So these are people from my own community. I really thank you for being there. I really, it's from the bottom of my heart that I'm saying this, and I mean it when I'm saying it. So there you go with this challenge, and let's give them all a great hand. And I must actually also thank Lata, who's been in this particular day every day. Thank you, Lata. And I want to specifically mention your name, because every day she's been there. She would always be there before time. I noticed that either at 5 or before, sometimes, when I'm logging in, I see that Lata is already there. You've been a very great support throughout the 21-day journey. So winner, winner, winner. Okay. So this is just to like sort of keep you all going. I'm sure it'll help and for you to understand. Please forward these to people from your own community. Please let people know that there is a community that they can join, your own little groups that you have. Please let people know that how they can really benefit out of being in this community, getting together and implementing behavior. That would be a great favor from your side that I would really expect. Just spread the word on this, on self-reliance, on helping 100,000 women become self-reliant. And that's my vision. And as I keep saying, just by being there in these sessions, just by being there, participating, you're contributing towards this vision. So thank you so much. So let me move into the topic today. What I'm going to do is to bring it all together, how to develop self-reliance. There are 8 points that I've brought it all together. That's a beautiful quote by Ralph, who says, to talk of reliance is a poor eternal way of speaking. Speak of that which relies. Okay, so having said that, while you're understanding what it is, what I would also want to basically bring together are the 8 points we need to remember. We started off understanding what is self-reliance, the aspects of self-reliance, day one itself, which has non-conformity, personal responsibility, and there was another factor to it. So bringing all of this thriving society, and talking about each of the S's and so many aspects, assertiveness, learn how to say no and things like that, when to say no. What we'll do is, these are the 8 sort of points that we need to bring together to take it to the next level. So what is the first point? So accepting yourself and being your own best friend. So what we'll do is, we'll go through each of these points and bring in like a little bit of just a second, please. I think I have some person sort of uh, knocking the door out there, but that's okay. So we will go over each of these. Okay, so let's look at the first one. So accepting yourself and being your own best friend. Okay, so the first one is, how do we do this? Okay, so I'm sure you've learned so many aspects in the last 20 days. Okay, and we this is like sort of a gist of all the 20 days, right? So the first one is, see, we have so many experiences in our life, but we need to learn to appreciate our own achievements, because this is what is point one. Because if we have good, we have bad experiences, or whatever experiences, we also need to be looking at what are our character strengths. Because generally, and I'm sure people by now, being in my community and also like looking at my videos, one of the things that comes out as brain science knowledge is that it's very easy to be critical about our behavior. That's very, very natural also, as a human being, to be very critical of our behavior. So if though we are that, are you kind, curious, brave, and what are your characteristics, strengths? And don't forget to reflect on your achievements. This is very, very important to start off in the journey of being self-reliant. As I said, all these, while you have these videos in YouTube, what we're where I'm going to bring in a beautiful structure to it as a course in Teachables, because it's going to be a 21-day challenge for all of those who get into level 2. And there will be sort of a habit tracker, there'll be a framework that you'll get into from 1 to 2 to 21 for you to take this forward for implementation of your behavior. So this is point number one. Point number two is inner confidence. So see, we are conditioned to feel happy when we receive compliments. So this is very, very true of me. Let me tell you, always looking for appreciation from others, especially as growing up. I remember that, for every little thing, my father used to say, "Oh, great, great, great job, great job, great job." And that became so much of a habit for me that, later on in my life, I would always expect a sort of an appreciation or a pat on the back, even for little things that you do. So each one of us have our own stories to say. But the thing is, after a point of time, you may not get it. You may not have people appreciating you from outside. You may not have those people patting your back, or the way your parents did it, if they did it, right? If they did it, you may not have that thing later on in your life. Then, if that's not forthcoming, we can feel insecure or vulnerable, and sometimes even like sort of lose our confidence, because we are so used to sort of people patting our backs and saying, "Oh, hey, good, great job." So what we are looking at here, and what we need to really understand, is the inner confidence. So whether people appreciate you or not, if you're able to go ahead in your journey, being self-reliant involves the ability to feel confident in yourself when these aren't around, as in when people are not appreciating you. I would always crave for my someone giving me that appreciation, because I was so used to it as a growing child. It was there in our environment for every little thing. So because that won't last, people around you are not going to appreciate you all the way, and it not may not be always be there. So the inner confidence is what I'm talking about. Okay, then the next one that I'm talking about is point number 3, making our own decisions. Okay, so it's very this is it's rational, and independent thinking is something we have already sort of touched upon. What I have already told about is accepting ourselves as unique and practicing non-judgment. But this tendency becomes ingrained within us, and as adults we are not capable of handling adversity in a way that we feel sure about, because as children we learn to look to others for guidance when solving problems or making decisions, very much so. And the thing is, we always keep looking for assurance even for making decisions. And once we have made a decision also, we're like, we're not sure whether what we have made, whatever decision we have made, is right or wrong, or we're looking again for approval. So making our own decisions, have confidence in your own capabilities, and it becomes a lot easier to find security within, because this is not something we are not trained to be that way. It's not right or wrong, good or bad, but it is about awareness. It is about, because see, what we're talking about self-reliance is to be able to voice our opinion. If we are not able to voice our opinion irrespective of social norms, that's one of the reasons, is because of self-esteem, lack of self-esteem, which means lack of self-acceptance, which means lack of self-identity, which means lack of so many S's, self-sufficiency, and all that we have gone through, right? So the ability to take your own decisions, we need to have confidence from inside on that, right? Otherwise, that security within, if you're not able to find, we will not be, even if you've taken the decision, we're always looking for approval. Okay, now let's look at the next point, which is accept yourself for who you are. There's a lot of content there. It was difficult for me to sort of make this PPT there, but don't worry about the content. The essence of this is, again, it's self-acceptance is a huge thing. Like I told you, self-esteem is linked to self-identity, self-acceptance, and self-image. Like, instead of looking to others for approval, this is again and again in every point this comes, it's all right to give that approval to yourself and say, yes, what you have done is fine, go ahead and do it, and learn from it and take the next step. So seeking others acceptance is yet another way that we practice dependence on others. So dependence on others is okay. Now there is, but how much do we depend on others, and is there an inner balance? And that's the next point, right? And so to develop self-reliance, we need to notice these tendencies before we can change them. But it's worth it. And noticing these tendencies is nothing but getting more and more self-aware. It's about self-awareness, it's about mindfulness, and then it is actions, right? So accept yourself for who you are. The next point is recognize and manage dependence. So the point sort of 3 and 4 are so well ingrained, like, what I'm saying is linked, in the sense, while you need to be independent, it is okay to be dependent, right? We feel that as people, as we should not be too dependent on people, or generally the feeling that we have is self-reliance means to do everything by ourselves, which is not the case. First of all, understanding the meaning of self-reliance, and then say to be dependent and interdependent, both of it. Sorry, dependent in a way where in the way that we are interdependent, but in a balanced way, like that, in the sense that you're not too sort of, what do you say, dependent on someone, or you're too independent, but you show the inner balance. That's where recognize, and you need to manage the dependence. It's okay to be dependent on people. We're human beings, and it's only by being dependent on people that we also learn and grow together, because we can't be as though we're operating from one single island from somewhere, right? So we need to get together in that sense, right? The next point again is having your own values, and this is something that I also do, which is called the value assessment, where you understand what are your values, and whether your values are assigned to social values, and how much are your values, really deeply aligned with your own deep rooted, like, see, how many of us really know our values? We actually, many times we don't even know what our values are. And if we know what your values are, you will realize that what you're doing or not, what you're not doing also is actually linked to those values. So there is a way of understanding what your values are. This is what I help in during my one-to-one coaching process, where we do a value assessment to find out what your values. And because you are very hungry for those values, let me tell you, it's like having water or food. But at the same time, once you know your values, we also need to assess if it is aligned with your society values, because many times it may not be congruent. It may not be congruent to what the societal values are, to a particular group that you belong, or to a particular membership, a forum that you want to become a part of. But everywhere, if there is some kind of dissonance, right, it is linked to probably non-alignment of your own values with either the group's values, organization's values, family values, and things like that. So you may value diversity and inclusiveness and in a way, but it may not be actually linked to what are the values of diversity and inclusiveness a particular organization might follow, right? So it may be, and so it becomes very unpleasant for you to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. So having your own value assessment done is extremely important. And this is something that I help you. Please join me and my community. And it's not about me, as I keep saying, it's about joining a larger community where you can help each other sort of come up with accountability partners and to help implement behavior. And as you grow in the community from one level to the other to the level 3, you get various levels of support. One is accountability partner support, another is a 14-day kind of a journey on alter ego, the other is an individual level support through various experts. And at a level, I also help you coach, write your goals. Why I'm bringing this is because one of the assessments that are done is value assessment. So get this done for yourself. Okay, so that is point number 6 for you to be self-reliant. So what is, for the 2 more points left, what is point number 7? Not relying on things to feel happiness. Extremely important, ladies. See, we always think, and we sort of are also, many times in this pandemic world, digital kind of a world, we are so dependent on our gadgets, right? And if we don't have them, we become unhappy. And we see that in our own children, the way they are, the way, and I used to be so worried. Of course, now I'm like, in a space where I understand, and it's getting dealt very well with my own child. But the point that I'm trying to say is material possessions. Especially in Ralph Waldo Emerson's, very strongly argued about the negative potential influences of material possessions. So, to the extent that if you're sick also, I mean, it goes to that level that immediately we need to take some kind of a medication. In fact, I'm going to a different level on this. Our body has the ability to actually heal ourselves. If we give that time and energy to our body and attention to our body, mind, and emotion, in fact, you have the ability to heal any kind of ailment that you might be undergoing. Okay, and so we will become so dependent on material possessions like medication. A simple headache, every time we might get so used to having medication that without that we're not able to, we're not happy. And so there's a question of sort of over dependent. So we have to sort of wean ourselves away from relying on things to feel happiness. you know because life is constantly changing. If we tie our happiness to external objects, tomorrow none of those external objects may be existing. What will you do then? Where is your happiness going to go? So only if those external objects exist is when you would be happy. So these are things that you might want to think in the journey of self-reliance. And please go through all the 20 days. Today is the 21st day, which is like sort of a overall tips on it, which is probably sort of more than the tips that I'm giving you right now. But just go ahead and look at all the videos and bring all the affirmations and assignments together for you to implement your behavior. So what happens when they are gone, when the materialistic positions are gone, is something that you might want to think about. Finally, decide who you want to be and how you want to get there. This is again linked to values. except that once we know our own values, we can understand what makes us happy and how we would like to live our lives, which is really the truth. Because of course, in the alter ego journey, there is also an alternate truth to this, because you're also creating alternate personalities, and alternate personalities may have different values. As human beings, we have the ability to play different roles of different kind of personalities having different values. That's different, and that's something also that I help you with, the 14-day alter ego journey of creating that alternate personality. But whatever it is, as at an individual level, it's first of all based on your own experiences, as based on whoever you are as an individual. There are certain values that you come with. First of all, know those values, because these are something that is either breaking you or making you. So these aren't the only ways we can develop self-reliance. Okay, let me tell you, it's also sort of true that children will often need much simpler approaches to learning, that can often start at a more practical level, which is what I'm reading from the slide there. But what I'm talking about, and what we did this 21 days and 20, the last day today, is to bring everything together and put it forth there, saying we exercise our own judgment about how we want to get there. And that's exactly what, Ralph keeps saying, that you become what you are thinking all day long. What you think all day long is what you become. Okay, so having, like, let's put this all together. And I again want to congratulate Apana, Ranjini, Upasana for having taken those wonderful, powerful note taking, consistent note taking, creative note taking, and all the support that they've given throughout this journey. And this journey has just begun. 21 days journey is not the end, it's just begun for you to give for me to give you a flavor of what self-reliance is, right? So let's do AA charge 21, and after this we become 100% charged, right? So the beautiful quote by Ralph is that what I must do is all that concerns me, not what the people think, because self-reliance is all about that, to be able to voice our opinion irrespective of social norms. So if that is the case, what is it that I must do? What is it that is needed from my end in whatever situation that you are, that you go ahead and do irrespective of whatever people think, right? So in fact, that also becomes the assignment for today, that do what is needed is what is the assignment. So let me write that down here. I have a little bit of a problem in the connection, no issues. Okay, so do what is needed in whatever situation that you are in, and irrespective of societal norms. And this is a very, very like a large statement to make. You might have to figure out what is it I'm talking about here. Your situations may be different. It may be something that may not be, you cannot relate to in this particular statement that I'm talking about. So but try it out in whatever situation that you are in, and see if you can do what is needed, which means that you're looking at the achievements. You're looking at what you can do, right? So this is where we conclude with today's 21-day challenge. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to post all my social media links which you already have. So please continue taking the notes. I'm going to come up with another challenge. It may not be a 21-day challenge, it will be a shorter kind of a challenge that will be there, but I'm going to continue with these challenges in this throughout this year. And please join me, as I said, in my community. Before we're going to be doing the affirmations 3 to 1, we'll do the affirmations together. This today's affirmation, which is, I consider the opinions of others, but I make the final decisions in my life. I consider others' opinions, but I make the final decisions in my life, right? So let's say this together, 3 to 1. And then what I would urge people who are not there in my community to join me. Okay, as soon as you join, what you're going to be getting is an alter ego journey of 14 days, which is what you join in for, along with, the other levels, the level 1 and the level 2 aspect being free. If you want a one-to-one coaching that you want to get into with me, that's a membership kind of a this thing that is available for a year, where you need to contact me and I can give you all the details about that. And you can block yourself for the first 4 sessions or the first 6 sessions, because this is a long-term journey. So it's like 1 session per month, and for 12 months. So it's like you're there for the whole year, like a membership journey, where along with which you also get the community support, you get an accountability partner, and you together sort of are in the community to implement behavior, charging yourselves up together. So what's more important is the course is available, the support will be there, joining a community where you create that environment, speak the same language to implement behavior, that becomes extremely important. So having said that, let me bring in the affirmation. So let's talk about the affirmations. 3, 2, 1. I consider the opinions of others, but I make the final decisions in my life. So let's say it 3, 2, 1 together 3 times. Okay, there we go. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Yeah.
I consider the opinions of others, but I make the final decisions in my life.
Beautiful. So let's again say it twice, 2 more times. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. There you go.
I consider the opinions of others, but I make the final decisions in my life.
And one last time. 3, 2, 1.
I consider the opinions of others, but I make the final decisions in my life.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, each one of you, for joining this 21-day challenge. It was just great actually putting all of this together. As I said, when I started off this challenge, I really didn't know how it would unfold. I knew like content for like around 10 days. I'm being very frank. And after that, it really unfolded in a very, very beautiful way. And that's how life is. So if you have to take a step, take it. And it don't have to be perfect to take that action. Start taking it, things unfold. And please join me, the community, not for the courses, but to help each other sort of implement behavior, support each other for various journeys and experts that you will get on your way. Okay, thank you so much. Contact me. I'll put all the links in the social media, and if you want to get into the one-to-one journey, contact me separately. Thank you so much. I'm operating from a different location. I'll be getting back to my office on Wednesday, and we anyway will continue with the other aspects in being a part of my community. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. So let me just
thank you, Preetha.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Preetha.
Bye bye.
Thank you.